Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Selena from Wholeness Campaign, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 things that you can do to mitigate your exposure to radiation. So what do I mean by radiation? If you are not familiar with the term EMF, electromagnetic frequency, or radio frequency, this refers to the kind of radiation that is emitted from technology. So this might be EMFs that are coming from your phone, your Wi-Fi router, your television, all the way to the electrical outlets in your house and how much dirty electricity that's going on there. There's a lot to learn in this area, and I'm definitely not one of those people that thinks that technology is all bad. Obviously, I'm here on YouTube. I love to use social media. I love to use technology to help build positive environments, build community. So I'm definitely not one of those people that's going to tell you to drop all of your technology and do away with every single thing that possibly emits EMFs. However, there is a lot of research that shows that there is a physical effect on your body from being close to these magnetic frequencies, these radio frequencies, and they've been known in various different research studies to be detrimental to your health. And so my goal in this video is to give you 5 practical ways that you can mitigate your exposure in a day-to-day basis, but also doesn't feel like you're completely throwing out all of your technology. My goal with this personally has been to automate certain processes to make it feel like I can use my technology safely, but I also am being careful and cautious and proactive in certain ways that allows it to not have an effect on my health. I will leave some articles below in the description that explain kind of more of the science behind all of this, but in short, there have been studies that have linked the radiation that comes from Wi-Fi routers to poor sleep, and there are a host of resources out there that are saying now that this kind of radiation actually causes cancer. And so mitigating our exposure to it is a really important thing. Our bodies were not created to be exposed to this level of electromagnetic frequencies, and I'm always looking to go to the most natural, most authentic, real, but also kind of modern way of handling these kinds of fads. So without further ado, let me give you 5 ways that you can practically mitigate this exposure. The first one is turning off your Wi-Fi router at night. Now this might sound a little bit kind of kooky and crazy, and actually, when I've looked at the radiation that comes from a Wi-Fi router at night, it is not as much as other things that are in our house, particularly like my phone. I have this tri-field electromagnetic frequency reader. It also reads radio frequencies. It has like categories for standard and weighted, and magnetic and electric, which are different. But the idea is that anything that reads high on this is not healthy for you. When I say that I turn my Wi-Fi router off at night, it's because the Wi-Fi router does release uncomfortable levels of electromagnetic frequencies, but in my experience, it hasn't been as much as what gets emitted from just the cell phone. Either way, it's something that I do believe in. I think it helps your sleep. I've noticed differences in my sleep when I have turned the Wi-Fi off at night. I feel a little bit more alert at night when the Wi-Fi is still turned on. There have been nights where I've noticed, straight up insomnia, and I struggle with that for a while. Turning it off has made a huge difference, as well as healing your gut and all of the other things that you do to benefit your health. But one of the most practical ways you can do this is by putting your Wi-Fi router, which is actually right behind me, on a Christmas timer. It's like one of those Christmas tree timers that goes on and off. During the day, you have it on. During the night, you have it off. You can actually program this thing to turn on in the morning when you need to work, when you need to access the Wi-Fi, or turn it off at night. Again, this has been a game changer, and it is just one really easy way. Most of the time, you're not going to notice the Wi-Fi being off at night, but it does limit your exposure. Number 2 is to turn your phone on airplane mode when you're not using it. Now, this is going to need to become a habit. For most people, it's probably a little bit annoying. You can't get calls when your phone's in airplane mode. It's almost like your phone is off, but you can still read the clock, especially when you're not using it, and especially when it's sitting in your pocket or pressed up against your body. If you just kind of make it a habit, I go to put my phone in my purse, I put it on airplane mode. I go to put my phone in my pocket, I put it on airplane mode. It has become such a habit for me. My husband is always trying to get a hold of me, and he oftentimes can't because my phone is just always in airplane mode, which, it's got its issues, but overall, I'm really glad that I'm not being exposed to as much of my phone's radiation. Plus, it has actually helped me a lot with being present and not being as addicted to my phone. That's a problem as well. Number 3 is to wire your electronic devices. This might seem a little bit too far, too crunchy for some of you. Maybe for others, you're like, I'm ready to make that step. I really want to do this for my health. So I'm just going to throw it out there that you actually can wire your electronics. You can make sure that anytime you're using a laptop or a phone, that it is basically plugged in to an Ethernet cord, plugged into your router. And so you basically have a direct wired connection, and they're not relying on any air Wi-Fi, which then you would be able to turn off on your Wi-Fi router. All the Wi-Fi routers are different, but most of them have the ability to turn off the, I don't know, I call it air Wi-Fi, but it's basically like Wi-Fi that people can access just without being connected. So I would turn that off. I've started doing this during my work days because I work from home and I work a regular 9-to-5 job that I am sitting by a computer all day long. And so I'm always looking to mitigate the effects of that. I have all of my computer and my phone completely wired during the day. My roommate here, she also wires everything, so we turn off the Wi-Fi, the air Wi-Fi, and it just goes through the cords, and that really works for us. It does. This is kind of a little bit of a newer thing, but we've also been trying to eliminate the need for Bluetooth. I do use Bluetooth here and there, particularly for AirDrop, but Bluetooth headphones, Bluetooth keyboards, mouse, all of those kinds of things, Bluetooth does have its own forms of radiation, and this EMF reader would actually test higher if a phone has their Bluetooth on. So as much as I can wire my keyboard, have a wired mouse, all of that, it's going to just mitigate that. A little story with Bluetooth for me. Honestly, you guys, I haven't felt, besides sleeping at night definitely a lot better, I haven't felt dramatic experiences from electromagnetic frequencies, but I've done enough research to know that they are very, very dangerous over time, and so I'm doing all of this kind of as a precaution. However, the one thing that I actually have noticed is that when my Bluetooth is on, I actually will get this kind of like, I don't know, it's like a dull like tension in my forehead. It's hard to explain, but whenever I turn it off, honestly, I notice it's very bizarre, but like the tension just kind of dissipates. I have struggled with migraines and headaches in the past, and so this is kind of one of those things that I do to make sure that all of that's not going to come back. Unfortunately, this does mean that I do not use my precious AirPods that I bought a while back. I was even gifted another set, and I just don't use them, you guys, because they just release so much radiation, and especially being wireless in your ears is really not good to have that close to your brain. You can do your own research, but it has been known to cause different kinds of cancers, particularly brain cancers. So wanting to keep this technology far away from my brain, wiring things really does give me that advantage. I know people who, when they are touching their phone, they're so sensitive to EMFs that their hands actually hurt from being on technology for a long time. I have not experienced that, but again, this Bluetooth kind of tension headache is enough for me to just kind of do away with those kinds of wireless devices. Number 4 is going to be to move your bed away from any outlet. I know this might sound bizarre, and maybe it's not possible for every single person. When I bought this tri-field meter, one of the things that I really wanted to test out was how much radiation was coming from the outlets. And we just bought a pretty old house, and most, if not all, of the outlets don't have the cleanest electricity. At some point, I would love to get some kind of cover for our outlets to kind of shield and neutralize some of those EMFs. We don't have that right now. I do notice that our outlets buzz, which is just old house, old electrical. But what the best thing I have found to do is to actually just keep your head, so the top part of your bed, keep your head away from any outlets. So when you're positioning your room, just being aware of where you're actually placing your bed, because that's going to be the spot that you're spending most of the night in. And if your head is just right by an electrical outlet that's got some dirty electricity there, it's not going to be great. So I would prefer my feet to be by an outlet if you have to make that choice. That's another way that you can also mitigate some of that. And number 5 also has to do with sleep, but it is to not sleep with electronic devices in your room. I know for a lot of people this is probably super frustrating, but I really believe that you will notice not only potential physical effects of this, but also just the mental and emotional toll it can take to just have your phone at your bedside as you go to bed at night and when you wake up. It's not good for the reasons of blue light. Blue light can really mess with your sleep patterns, but also having your phone next to you at night is really, really not good. You're spending basically a third of your life in your bed sleeping, and the best thing you can do is really just to, like I said, moving your bed to a safe spot, but also not having these kind of really high EMF devices near you, especially putting them on your bedside table. I mean, if you absolutely need to put it by your bedside table for reasons of having an alarm when you wake up, which I would say purchase a mechanical alarm that's plugged in or battery operated. But if you really just need to use your phone as an alarm, I would say turn your phone on airplane mode. The alarm app works on airplane mode, and so you don't have to worry about it. I wake up for a while. My husband would bring his phone into our room just to have it as an alarm clock, and every single night, like clockwork, I say, honey, put the phone on airplane mode. And we've kind of just gotten into this habit where if it's in our room, it's on airplane mode. But besides that, any kind of laptops, TV, all like Wi-Fi router, we will always just keep outside of our bedroom at night. Learning about EMFs, I have found, is all about proximity. It's about trying to distance yourself a little bit in a healthy way, and then when you engage in technology use, just being sure that you're doing it safe, with safe amounts of technology use, and also just being aware of some of these things that do impact a majority of your time. There are all sorts of other devices out there. I will say I have a EMF protecting phone case, although I have my own spiel about that maybe I'll go into in another video. And I'm actually trying out a couple different grounding mats on my desk space, which just helps to mitigate the exposure to EMFs while I'm working my 9-to-5 job at my desk around all my technology. So I will give you a review of that grounding pad coming here soon. Grounding is something that really does help to heal your body of EMF exposure. Grounding can be done with these really fancy devices, but it can also just be done by going outside and sticking your bare feet in the grass. Nature has a really strong effect in actually healing your body from this kind of radiation exposure. So I'd encourage you to get outside, go be in nature, leave your phone in the house. And a little note about EMF protecting phone cases, I just encourage you to not put all of your hope into them, because even when my EMF shielding phone case is on, and I do have one of the more popular brands, around the edges and when a phone call is being made and all of that, when I test it with this meter, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. It definitely helps. I like to have it on my phone when I'm out and about, but I'm always putting my phone on airplane mode anyway. My thing is it's just like helping pick up any residual EMFs. I still prefer not to have my phone even on my body if it's not on airplane mode. So I also have a product from Safe Sleeve that you can put underneath your laptop, so that if you ever put your laptop on your lap, which I don't recommend either, you're not having the laptop just sitting up against your body. That's not great. It's been known to be linked to fertility issues. So these are things that I've been trying, and I haven't noticed a dramatic difference with them, but I would ultimately encourage you not to put all of your faith into these products that are supposed to harmonize and shield and all of that, and put more of your time and energy into resolving the proximity issue and also just wiring your devices, kind of setting yourself up on a day-to-day basis to be healthy with all those 5 things that I just mentioned. So I hope that was helpful. If you got anything valuable out of this video, please comment below. If you're trying anything and you've seen any benefit from any kind of product, please do share. I love to learn from people who are on the same journey as me. And so as always, please like and subscribe to my channel. It is my passion to walk alongside people as they heal and grow. It inspires me and hopefully brings encouragement to you. Thanks for watching.